Curious about the inner workings of the German government? Wondering how people elect individuals for these positions? Eager to know about the major political parties in Germany? Look no further. In this video, I'll delve into these questions and provide all the answers you seek. Stay tuned. The Federal Republic of Germany, as we recognize it today, is relatively a new state. Its formation took place in October 1990, when the German Democratic Republic or East Germany merged with the Federal Republic of Germany or West Germany. Essentially, East Germany joined West Germany by adopting the West German Constitution. Today, Germany operates as a parliamentary democracy, federal in structure, featuring a bicameral legislature, and embracing a multi-party system. If these terms are unfamiliar to you, don't worry. You can refer to the videos mentioned above where we delve into these concepts in depth. As mentioned earlier, Germany operates under a parliamentary system of government consisting of two chambers. The chamber where the elected representatives of the people sit is called the Bundestag, while the upper chamber representing the states is known as the Bundesrat. Unlike the Bundestag, the members of Bundesrat are not directly elected. Instead, they are delegates appointed by the state governments to voice their opinions on laws that affect the states. Each state has between 3 to 6 votes in the Bundesrat, and these votes are cast as a block, meaning all votes of a state are cast together in a unified manner. Consequently, the Bundesrat has a total of 69 seats. Membership in the Bundesrat has no restrictions, and the same representatives will remain as long as the state governments do not change their delegates. Usually, high-ranking state officials act as delegates on behalf of their respective states. The presidency of Bundesrat rotates annually among the highest-ranking officials of each of the states. Regarding the main chamber and the determining body of the German government, it is indeed the Bundestag, which consists of at least 598 seats. I said at least because the electoral system of the Bundestag is a bit complex, combining proportional representation and majority systems. Let me elaborate on how it works. Out of the 598 seats, 299 seats are directly elected from 299 electoral districts. In each district, the candidate who received the most votes wins the seat. However, the ballot for the Bundestag elections has a second part. In this second part, citizens vote for one of the parties and not a specific individual. Now the remaining 299 seats in the Bundestag are allocated in a way that ensures the distribution of the seats in the states and consequently the entire country remains proportional to the percentage of the votes each party received. Let me illustrate this with an example. Imagine a state with 10 electoral districts. In 9 districts, the candidates of the red party won, and in 1 district the candidate of the blue party won. That means 90% of the elected representatives belong to the red party. However, in the party-based part of the election, the percentage of votes for these two parties is 60% for the red party and 40% for the blue party. As a result, out of 10 proportional seats in the state, 7 go to the blue party and 3 go to the red party. Thus, in the end, out of 20 total seats, 12 seats, equivalent to 60%, belong to the red party, and 8 seats, equivalent to 40%, belong to the blue party. This process is also applied at national level. However, for a party to benefit from the proportional seat, it needs to achieve at least 5% of overall votes or win at least 3 direct seats in the electoral districts. This ensures that the smaller parties still have a chance to gain representation in the Bundestag and have their voices heard in the German government. The number of directly elected seats in the Bundestag, which is always 299, remains constant. However, to adjust the party's overall share at the state and national levels, additional seats are usually required. Let me explain this with an example. In the 2017 election, the state of Bremen had 2 directly elected representatives, both from the Social Democratic Party. However, since other parties also received considerable party votes in the state, it was necessary to define 4 proportional seats instead of 2 to ensure a proportional representation. That's why I mentioned the minimum number of the Bundestag member is 598. The additional seats beyond the 299 directly elected seats are allocated proportionally based on the party votes at the state and national levels. For instance, in the Bundestag formed after 2021 election, the number of representatives was 736, making it the largest parliament in German history up to that point. This proportional representation system ensures that the distribution of the seats reflect the voters' choice and provides a fair representation of various parties in the Bundestag. The President of Germany holds the highest position as the head of state, although the role is largely ceremonial. Despite this, the President does possess certain rights and all laws require their formal approval by signing. However, over the past 30 years, there have been only 3 instances when presidents refused to sign laws due to the conflicts with the constitution. In Germany, the president is not elected directly by the people. Instead, the responsibility of electing the president falls upon a body known as the Federal Convention. The Federal Convention consists of all members of the Bundestag, the lower chamber of parliament, plus an equal number of delegates sent by the state parliaments. The presidential term lasts for 5 years, and an individual is limited to serving a maximum of 2 consecutive terms. Since the reunification of the 2 German states until the present time, 7 individuals have been elected as president, and as of now, no woman has held this prestigious position. The president's role plays a significant part in ceremonial aspects of the country and acts as a symbol of unity for the German people. After the formation of each new Bundestag, it becomes the president's duty to propose a candidate for the Chancellor to the parliament. In practice, the president typically nominates the leader of the largest party or coalition in the Bundestag. However, the Bundestag has the authority to reject president's nominee and has a period of 14 days to propose an alternative candidate who can secure an absolute majority. If the Bundestag fails to elect the Chancellor within the time frame, the President has the power to dissolve the Bundestag, leading to new elections. The Chancellor holds the highest executive authority in Germany and serves as the head of government. Given the multi-party political structure in the country, governments are always formed through a coalition, and the Chancellor selects the cabinet from the members of their party and other coalition partners. The Chancellor's term in office typically aligns with the 4-year duration of the Bundestag's term unless early elections are called. There are no limitations on the number of times the Chancellor can be re-elected. Since the reunification of Germany in 1990, 4 individuals have held the position of Chancellor, and notably, one of them was a woman. The Chancellor plays a vital role in shaping the country's policies and leading the government's executive functions. The German judicial system is structured into 3 categories of courts, each serving specific functions. The first category encompasses ordinary courts responsible for handling general crimes and legal matters. The second category comprises specialized courts including labor, fiscal, administrative, intellectual property, and social courts, which handle cases about their respective areas of expertise. Lastly, the category consists of constitutional courts, vested with the authority to adjudicate on constitutional matters. These courts operate at both the local and federal levels, ensuring access to justice and a fair legal process throughout the country. The division of courts into 3 categories allows for a comprehensive and efficient judicial system in Germany, addressing various legal issues and ensuring the protection of individual rights and constitutional principles. Germany is a federal republic comprised of 16 states. Among them, Berlin, Hamburg, and Bremen are city-states, while the other states are composed of multiple cities. Each state operates under a single-chamber system. In the 13 larger states, the head of the executive branch and the highest-ranking official is known as the minister-president, whereas in the 3 city-states, the position is referred to as mayor. The minister-president or mayor is responsible for leading the state government and representing the respective states in matters of governance and administrations. As mentioned earlier, Germany operates under a multi-party system, but the 2 main parties are Christian Democratic Union or CDU and the Social Democratic Party or SPD. The CDU is positioned center-right, while the SPD leans center-left. For a more detailed explanation of the left and right concepts, you can check out my video in the link provided above. The CDU is represented by the color black, while SPD is associated with red. Throughout German history, even before reunification, chancellors have always come from one of these 2 parties. Since 1990, CDU chancellors have served a total of 24 years, and SPD chancellor have held the position for 9 years. Interestingly, from 2005 until 2021, although the chancellor has been from the CDU, the cabinet has been a coalition of two rival parties, including both the CDU and SPD, for 12 of those years. In addition to CDU and SPD, Germany has other significant parties with parliamentary representation, and they have also played roles in coalition governments. One of these parties is the Christian Social Union or CSU, which primarily operates in the state of Bavaria. While the CSU is considered a separate party, it is often regarded as the Bavarian branch of the CDU, given their close alignment and shared values. Consequently, the CSU, which also leans center-right, has frequently been part of coalition led by CDU chancellors. The CSU's color is blue, although they often use black as a symbol of their affiliation with the CDU. Another prominent party is the Free Democratic Party, or FDP. The FDP is a liberal party with a center-right leaning. Due to Germany's multi-party system and the moderate nature of the FDP, they have been part of various coalition governments throughout history except for 7 years in the 41 years before reunification. The party's color is yellow, which distinguishes them in political campaigns and materials. The Alternative for Germany, or AfD, is a relatively new party founded in 2013 with right-wing populist tendencies. In the 2017 elections, they managed to become third largest bloc in the Bundestag with over 12% of the votes. But in the subsequent election, they lost ground and became the fifth largest party. Due to their far-right stance, other parties have been reluctant to form coalition with them, and the AfD has consistently remained the main opposition in both federal and state parliaments. The party's color is light blue. The Left Party, or Die Linke, represents the far left and has its roots in the Socialist Unity Party that governed East Germany throughout its history. Their primary color is red, although they use purple more often to differentiate themselves from the SPD. Since reunification, Die Linke has never been part of the federal government, but has participated in several state-level coalition governments. Despite being excluded from federal government participation, they remain influential in German politics, advocating for leftist policies and social justice initiatives. Last but not least, we have the Alliance 90, the Green Party, or simply the Greens or Grüne, which represents center-left to left-wing positions and places a strong emphasis on environmental issues. The Greens have been part of 3 federal governments led by the SPD after reunification and have a relatively strong presence in state governments, being present in 10 out of the 16 states. In the 2021 federal elections, they performed well and became the first party in German history to have more than 100 members in the Bundestag besides CDU and SPD. Their growing influence reflects the increasing importance of environmental and sustainability concerns in the political landscape of Germany. Thank you for watching this video about the politics of Germany. If you found the content informative, please like it and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to leave any questions or suggestions for future topics in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.